Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Susan. It's my honor today to introduce our keynote speaker. Dr. Sherri Young is the Executive Director and Health Officer of the Kanawha Charleston Health Department, a position that she accepted in July of 2019. She's the first woman and the first osteopathic physician to hold the office. In 2019, her colleagues elected her president of the West Virginia State Medical Association. She's also the immediate past president of the West Virginia Academy of Family Physicians. Originally from the town of Mullins in Wyoming County, Dr. Young earned her Bachelor of Science in Speech Pathology and Audiology at WVU and her doctorate from the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. She trained in family medicine at Charleston Area Medical Center and has lived in Kanawha County with her husband and their daughter Gabby for more than 15 years. Dr. Young previously served as the physician director of the state's Division of Immunization Services and was later named the state's first immunization officer, a role in which she spoke about immunization on the state and national level. If this were a movie script and not a resume, you might consider that foreshadowing. Dr. Young accepted her current position in July of 2019. Within months, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic, and our local community braced for impact. Dr. Young's wide range of experience includes clinical practice, public health and education, particularly around immunization. She has authored several well-received books on personal loss and grief and has deep experience as a public speaker in continuing education. Marvel Comics couldn't match a hero to a crisis that well. During more than a year of communal fear, anxiety, and confusion, Dr. Young quickly became the face of pandemic response in our community. Her communication to the public was exactly what the situation called for. It was calm, it was clear, and it was nonstop. She was somehow everywhere, all at the same time. There's only one word to describe her ability to attract and inspire volunteers, to make maximum use of available resources, and to reassure a restless public. It's leadership. I have a feeling today we're going to hear Dr. Young share credit with a lot of people. I would say that's also another sign of a great leader. When I think of our nation's frontline heroes during this pandemic, Dr. Young is who I picture, and I have a feeling I'm not alone. Please join me in welcoming today's guest speaker, Dr. Sherri Young.
Wonderful and warm introduction. Thank you to Dr. Foster for having us here today. Thank you to the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. Thank you to all the board members, all the employees, and a special congratulations to the change makers, the people who are out there on the job, boots on the ground, making a difference in your communities. I couldn't be happier or more pleased to see more wonderful things going on in our communities than what we're seeing today. And to stay with the theme of hope, we have a lot to be hopeful for. It is just 442 days since the Kanawha Charleston Health Command started its on-site health response to the COVID pandemic. Only days later, we had our first case here in Kanawha County. We were fortunate. We were the 50th state to be diagnosed with a COVID case, and we held on to that hope, but we knew that the inevitability was coming. We prepared. We put our team together. And for 442 days, we have been that team. And the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation has been a huge part of making that team possible. And for that, I thank you, and the community thanks you. The Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation has helped us with everything from keeping us warm when we're outside testing, when we're outside vaccinating. If you've noticed, we've been out there for all 4 seasons and then a little longer. It's been freezing, it's been hot, we've been melted to the sidewalks trying to end this pandemic. And finally, thanks to the volunteerism thanks to the community at large, thanks to people in this room, and thanks to people who are watching this at home. We're a little closer to getting rid of these. We're a little closer to being vaccinated, and we are a little closer to being back to where we should be. With that, we have a message of hope. With the things that have been made possible by our team, at this point in the pandemic, we've had 15,216 cases of COVID in our county. It could have been a lot worse. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have lost 310 people in Kanawha County to the pandemic. And our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go out to each and every one of these individuals and their families. And we would not be doing these people who have lost their lives in this pandemic justice if we did not finish the job that we have started. And if that means we wear masks a little longer, if that means we get our friends who are on the fence to get vaccinated, if it's making the vaccines available to people where they are, if they can't get to us, that is what we will do. Because that is what we do as a community, and that is how we have got through this pandemic as well as we have. As hard as it's been on everyone, everyone has been impacted by this. There has been personal loss. There has been lives lost. There have been jobs lost. But the one thing that we have had throughout this pandemic, the one shining spot in this pandemic that nobody, no disease, no pandemic, no virus could put aside, is the community that we are and the collaboration that we have together. Our volunteers, our coordination of efforts has paid off because we are about to be through this, hopefully sooner than later. Even looking in the room, I see Susan here who brought her family to the vaccine clinics. Looking at the faces in here, I see the people who have made it possible for us to go out into the communities, not just to be in our large-scale vaccine clinics at the Charleston Coliseum Convention Center, but to do the smaller clinics and the smaller testings, to get into the churches and into the communities. And every municipality over the 911 miles that spans Kanawha County. And even further reaching out, we stand to support our surrounding counties as well, and we will continue to do that. With everything that we've made possible, I do want to give credit to everyone from that Health Command because they have been such an inspiration, a foundation, and we will be a team together for years to come. Pandemics aside, bring on the next problem, bring on the next thing that we can conquer together because we know how to work together. And this time, we won't take it for granted. We have a team put together of people who take care of others, and from everything from getting them fed, to getting them their medications, to getting them everything they need. Through the Kanawha-Charleston Health Department, we have been working with the Ambulance Authority to make all of our testing and all of our vaccinations possible. We have partners at CAMC. We have partners through the Homeland Security and the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have people from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office supporting us. We have people from every walk of life and every agency, from the Kanawha County Commission to the City of Charleston, that has stood up with us through this pandemic to make sure that we get through it together. Those partnerships will never fade. This has been a war. This has been a boots-on-the-ground war, and we have been in battle together. For that, we take our lessons learned, we take our team, and we continue that battle. Whether it's a battle against COVID, whether it's a battle against anything in the community, we can do this together. There's so many things that when people talk about COVID, yeah, you think about the virus, we think about the shutdown and the lockdowns, but even looking at, from our change makers, seeing Tracy Strickland and the Kanawha County Collective on there, they've been a great partner with us as well. It's so good to see them being celebrated and rewarded, because here's one thing that people didn't see behind the scenes. If people don't have a home to quarantine to, you have nowhere for them to go, and you can't put them you can't expose other people in shelters, so you have to be very thoughtful. People who have challenges such as where their next meal is going to come from on a good day, who get quarantined or are battling COVID. You have to think of everything when it comes to each individual person. It can't be just one disease, and it's never been about the disease. It's always been about the people. And for that is why we have hope. That is why we will get through this, maybe just a little longer. But I do urge everyone, please be careful as we go out into the holidays. This is kind of where we had a starting point last year around Memorial Day. So I do urge anyone who has not yet received a vaccine to please, if you can safely receive the vaccine, if you are vaccine eligible, let us help you. Call us at the health department. We will come to you if we have to. We will make it available to any person, not only in our county, but in our entire valley. If you need a COVID vaccine and you're one of the pieces of the puzzle that we still need to get to the other side of this, let us come to you. You can call us at 348-8080, and we will make sure that you get that vaccine. With that, we want to continue to do our good work. We will continue to do our good work. And the health department is just starting in our response to what we are going to do in our communities. We have so much work to do. So many things have gone to the wayside just because of the things that have stopped. When we went into a shutdown, people stopped getting medical screenings. When we went into a shutdown, people stopped getting routine cancer screenings. We stopped thinking about how to live, and then we started to forget how to survive. We've got to help each other. We've got to address the problems in our community together. And hearing all of the change makers here, knowing everything that is going on with the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation and all the people that you support, I know that we'll get there. I know that we'll get there because we have hope, and because we have each other, and because we have community. With that, I want to thank everyone who has supported us in the Health Command team. The team has been together, again, for a very long time now, and as good soldiers do, we will continue to march on until the work is done. We will continue to march on and finish this pandemic, and we will keep moving on to the next thing until we have solved everything we possibly can, because that's what communities do, and that's what we do at the Kanawha-Charleston Health Department, and that's what we do thanks to the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation and all of our community partners. So with that, I thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for being a great community to work in. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for welcoming our team to every corner of this valley. We truly appreciate everyone who has welcomed us, and we will continue until the work is done. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions, but please, until the next time you hear from us, until the next time you see us in your community, regardless if we're there for COVID or what response we're addressing at the time, never, ever give up hope. Thank you.